Okay. Very good morning to all. My name is Dr. M. Karuppaiya, Professor of Food Technology, Department of Food Technology, Excel Engineering College. Today I am going to deliver a topic lecture on microbiology of fermented foods. Okay. Uh, Nowadays, microbiology of fermented food is very important because it is very necessary for us. Uh, Carbohydrates are breakdown in the presence absence of oxygen. Easy to digest. That is the importance of fermented foods. For example, idli, uh, bread. These are easy for our digestion. So these are all important fermented foods by using microorganisms. The major fermentations, there are so many types of fermentations are available, but major fermentations are lactic acid fermentation, propionic acid fermentations, ethanolic fermentations. The main fermentations are three types of fermentation. Lactic acid fermentations, lactic acids along with the lactic acids, carbon dioxide also produced, propionic acid and carbon dioxide also produced, ethanolic fermentations, ethanol and as well as carbon dioxide also produced. Microbiology of fermented food. In this food, the microbial growth will be important factor. The shelf life of the food material can be increased, improved by the way of fermentations. It also creates a flavors and odors to the product. Fermented foods, not only the bread and everything, alcoholic beverages also fermented food, dairy products and other fermented foods. Uh, these are all the important fermented foods we are consuming. How to produce a bread? Bread is nothing but easy to digest. Each and everybody interested to eat. Its a main microorganism is a baker's yeast. There are two types of yeast. One is a dry yeast and wet yeast. Uh, Saccharomyces cerevisiae is the name of the microorganisms. Yeast. It produces a maximum carbon dioxide production during the fermentation. It levels the bread and other microbes also used for making a special type of breads. Wheat bread, maida bread. There are so many types of bread. Sweet bread. There are so many breads. Bread is very important. Carbohydrate. Bread is made up of by using wheat flour, sucrose, yeast, and little bit of salt. Everything mixed together. There are make a different proofs are there, and then kept in the oven dryer. We get a backed product. Next one is yogurt. Yogurt is very important for each and everybody because easy to digest. It is a milk product. The main microorganism is a Streptococcus salivarius. Subspecies is a Thermophilus and Lactobacillus bulgaricus. The other name of official name is Lactobacillus delbrueckii, subspecies bulgaricus. These two are co-cultured with other lactic acid bacteria for taste and health effects, probiotics, everything is good for our health. Yogurt is a sugar is nowadays very famous. In summer, yogurt is very good for our health, easy to digest. Each and every meals or dinner, yogurt is a final touch of the food. Acid produced during the fermentations, acid is produced. Not only acid produced, and also that acid produced is to coagulate the milk. The coagulate milk containing protein called casein. The casein can be coagulated with the help by using the acid, lactic acids. Okay, coagulate to semi-solid. Coagulate means nothing but the proteins are coagulated, so semi-solid. That's called yogurt. Nowadays, flavored yogurt, fruits are added, incorporated. Yogurt is nowadays different varieties are there. Flavor is there. Next is a cheese production. Very very important because approximately 8,000 years ago, cheese is oldest human food. Number of varieties are there. 2,000 varieties are there throughout the world. The cheese is obtained from lactic acid fermentation of milk. After fermentation, coagulation of milk proteins, the formation of a curd, and then the main microorganism is Streptococcus lactis. Streptococcus lactis is not only Streptococcus lactis, Penicillin roqueforti. There are so many uh, microorganisms are involved in the production of cheese. Different varieties, blue cheese. There are different variety of cheeses there. Milk is treated with lactic acid. The enzyme is called renin. Renin is an enzyme that hydrolyzes the protein, causes coagulate into curds. The liquid portion from the milk at this time is called whey. Whey is a waste product or byproduct of the during the cheese manufacturing. Cheese manufacture separated from curd, and then the curd is heated and pressed. Then usually age ripened. Ripened means ripened. After that ripening, it takes some time. Different microbes are involved in the early stages and late stages. Cheese productions have different characteristics. That is, I already told you. Penicillium roqueforti. There are so many microorganisms are involved in the production of cheese. Fermented milk. Fermented milk is nothing but a therapeutic effect, medicinal value. Acidophilus milk is produced by Lactobacillus acidophilus. The name itself, Lactobacillus acidophilus, is exhibit anti-cancer activity. It will be very useful in the medical field. Anti-cancer activity is there, so it can be utilized for the anti-cancer activity. Next is single cell protein. Single cell protein, there are proteins, amino acids are there. Animal feeds. It also uses animal feed, human supplements. Name is called bacterium. Methylophilus methylotropous. Spirulina, uh, Cyanobacteria of the genus of the Arthrospira. Whole cell as well as beta carotenes from the spirulina are available. It is a single cell protein mainly used as a food. Next one is a yeast as supplement for the yeast as a food supplement. Nutrition purpose cultivated a large amount of aerated fermenters, aeration, another aerobic culture. It is nothing but aerobic culture. Yeast is a aerobic culture. Medium it containing molasses as an ingredient. Molasses as an ingredient. Okay. At the end of the growth period, yeast cells are recovered by centrifuge the samples and wash it. The nutrition is heat killed, usually dried. Yeast cells are rich in B vitamins and proteins. Next is alcoholic beverages. Production of alcoholic beverages means by using fruits, juices. This is wine. The wine, most of the wines are made from grapes. Beer and early is produced by the fermentation of malted grains. Distilled beverages are produced by concentrating the alcohol by distillation, but increasing the concentration. Suppose beer means 4%, distilled beverage means more than 4%, 14% are available, 20%. So percentage of alcohol can be increased by using distillation methods. Okay. Beer. First, beer produced by using malted grain. The grains is allowed to germinate during the germination and then dry in the kiln and then roasted. During the germinations, the production of enzymes started. Mostly alpha and beta amylase enzymes are produced during the germination. The malted grains that may be used are barley, rye, wheat. Malted grains. Not only malted, also barley also used for the production of beer, rye also used for the production of beer. And then unmalted grain, not only unmalted grains such as rice, corn, it also used for the production of beer nowadays. The starch in the malt is converted to sugar by natural enzymes. Natural enzymes. That's called alpha and beta amylase. The sugars are then fermented by yeast. The sugars nothing but converted into carbon dioxide and alcohol. Alcohol. That's all. Aqueous extract is separated. Oat is separated by filtration. Hops is nothing but is a flour. Hops is added and boiled for several hours as a preservative. It acts as a hops. It as a preservative. And then oat is then transferred to fermentation vessel. 1 to 3 weeks oat. And then what is the yeast we are using here is Saccharomyces burgess. Saccharomyces variety ellipsidus. There are so many yeast is available. There are two type of yeast producing beer. One is called bottom fermented yeast, called lager. Bottom means low level. So bottom fermented yeast is called lager. Top fermented yeast produces allis. Allis. A. Top letter A. So allis. Easy to remember. Allis means top. Top fermented. We are writing first letter A. So top fermented. Bottom. Lager. Last letter. L is last compared to A. So bottom fermented yeast produces lagers. Okay, don't forget it. It may be asked in the examinations, gate examinations, or any competitive examinations. The beer may be disinfected either by cold filtration and also pasteurization. Pasteurization is nothing but partial removal of microorganisms. Partial removal of microorganisms. It cannot be completely removed. Sometimes it may be filtered by using a 0.45 micrometer filter. So very small pores are there. Through the pores we have to filter. So it is called cold filtration. Pasteurization means we are using heat for killing the microorganisms. But in cold filtration means very small size of the pore is there. Okay. Wine. It is very good for our health. Most of the persons are, but it is costly. Because of the costly depends upon the storage, fermentations, duration of the fermentation. The grapes are crushed to form a must. First, grapes are crushed. There are white wines. There are two types of wine is there. One is a red wine, another is a white wine. White wine is nothing but the skins are removed. The skins are removed from the mast before fermentation. That is called white. Okay. Red or black grapes are used. The skin is allowed to remain during the fermentation. Skin also, including skin also we are using. That's called red wine or black wine. Also rose wines. The red grapes are used to juice allowed to remain in contact with the skins just long enough for the rose or pink color to develop. Wait for time, long time, long enough time. So depends upon the time, the value of the wine will be increased. Okay, grapes are harvested, crushed by machines. That is called must squeeze out, and then we have already I told you yeast can be added. There are two types of yeast is there. One is a wild yeast, another is Saccharomyces or ellipsidus. Wine is separated from sedimentation. Wine can be separated by using, said just you have to leave it for a long time, automatically settle down, and then stored in a low temperature for aging. Aging means nothing but you have to increasing the fermentation time. That's all. Aging. After aging is the quality of wine is increased. So price also increased, value also increases. Okay, next we have wine. Like primary ferment. There are two types of primary, secondary fermentations are there. Natural yeast and the skin itself is called a naturally occurring microorganism present in the grapes. That's called a natural yeast. Okay, naturally some yeast are present on the skin of the grapes. It is also used, but commercial production, cultured yeast is often used because we have to want to more and more quickly produce alcohol. So we have to add some amount of yeast. It is more predictable. There are malolactic fermentation by bacteria and must convert it into malic acid into lactic acid. That's called malolactic fermentation. Malic acid to lactic acid, that is called malolactic fermentation by bacteria. After primary fermentations, the must is pressed, that's called red wines, and transferred to different containers for secondary fermentation. Secondary fermentation is nothing but it is aging. 3 to 6 months are there. Most of the fermented tank may be used oak tree, OAK, oak barrels are used for the aging. Sometimes nowadays stainless steel also used, but the vessel must be kept airtight to prevent oxidation. Oxidation in aerobic bacteria can be grow well. So the alcohol became converted into acid. Oxidation can take place. So to avoid this, you have to airtight the container, airtight, to avoid contact of air. Proteins are broken down and particles settle down. Blending and then bottling. That's all. A variety of bacteria used for the as a food. Bacteria, yeast, other fungi are used as animal and human food sources. Probiotics, microbial dietary adjuvants. Microbes are added to diet in order to provide health benefits beyond basic nutrition. Beyond basic nutrition, health benefit is very important. That is why we are adding. Directly we are consuming yogurt. Nothing but is a microorganism. We are directly consuming what we call the bread. Okay. Thank you for your kind cooperation. Thank you for